I like to hang out with him because whenever I come back from a hangout session, I feel more motivated to do my own shit. So today I'm fortunate enough to have Kazi here in my living room talking about what he's been building, some of the more exciting stuff that he's been going through recently before he moved out to San Francisco. So yeah.
Thanks for having me on the pod. Hi, really appreciate that. Yeah, we met on Twitter group chat. Right?
Yeah.
Crazy how those things work, right?
Yeah, sometimes you meet people that you know online, in person, and they're just as cool. So tell us about who you are.
Yeah, sure. My name's Kazi. I'm a builder. I love creating impact in the world and like changing the way we do things and questioning why we do things. And that's what led me into building software. I always wanted to create impact ultimately. And yeah, I'm the founder of Thred.AI. We are the world's first AI ad network. We get businesses distribution into LLMs and agents. The biggest distribution channel right now, ChatGPT.
Cool. And how did you come to that insight? I know that the story is quite interesting. It's like actually, I was there when it happened, but tell the story.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened without you, frankly. We met, in March? And I immediately started getting involved in the hackathons, organizing, judging, participating in these hackathons. Close to 500 people would come out. Lots of energy, lots of developers, many builders. And, frankly, I joined at first because I didn't know what to build. And I knew I needed to do something, so I wanted to give back to the community. And when you give back, you get more in return. So I think the hackathons was a great opportunity for me there. And that's where I came across the problem of, after the 2 days of workshops and then the weekend of building, you just get this intimate understanding of the pain points that developers face. And you have this insane empathy built up with these people, right? Because you're spending so much time all day, all night with the same group of builders in the same smelly room.
I don't remember that part.
Can you imagine the smell?
High quality product, but low quality body odor.
That's right. I haven't washed this hoodie in months.
Yeah, you told me. It's fine, bro. It's fine.
Yeah, it's part of the allure.
Yeah. Whatever gets you going in the morning.
Yeah, whatever gets you going. I have to grind now.
Anyways, so you're saying that you were at the hackathon and then you were looking at all these developers and they were struggling because the theme of the hackathon was to build something over the weekend and to sell it and get revenue, and that's how we gave out first and second, third prizes, which is whoever makes the most amount of revenue over that period of time gets more money in their bank.
That's right.
So you saw people build really cool projects, but then they were struggling with monetizing, and most of them, if not all of them, had some sort of AI in it, right?
Exactly. That's the flavor du jour of our hackathons, right? It's to build real businesses out of these hacks. And that's what even got me super interested in joining in the first place. It's because it's so different than traditional hackathons where you just build for the sake of building or you just build for the fun of it. But here, people have quit their jobs and they're tinkering full time to figure out how they're going to put food on the table, to figure out an escape from their 9 to 5. Yeah, everybody, I give the workshops for 2 days and then they have the weekend to build and we put them into product teams. And also an interesting point, when you're building a business around your product, you're kind of forced to think differently around the talent in your team.
Right.
Because you now have to have probably a design person, GTM salesperson, as well as an engineer. It can't just be all devs, all dudes.
Unless that person is the 10x whatever.
Yeah,
they can do it all.
Well, largely it's diverse groups that are winning the hackathons too.
Yeah.
Is what we're noticing.
Yeah.
And I noticed the problem set, which is 97% of the product teams, their products would die that weekend, and it's because they couldn't really market it too well. The developers kind of suck at marketing.
Yeah. What do they usually do? Go on Reddit, post like one post.
Maybe, if that, you know.
Text the Discord.
Text the Discord. Yeah, literally. They just chill in the Discord group. I mean, like, dude, you're competing with the other builders.
Exactly.
This is not how you do marketing, you know?
Yeah.
So I wanted to solve for that distribution problem that builders face. And I thought of Thread. Great way to take advantage of this like huge platform shift that's happening right now with AI advertising. Get the businesses in front of their ICP right into ChatGPT.
Yeah. So I saw the deck, but you want to tell the audience what it exactly is, Thread?
Yeah, sure. Businesses, we're essentially a marketplace that connects businesses and publishers to get into ChatGPT. So the businesses bid on queries that they value because they think that their users are going to type into. ChatGPT is also geofenced, so you can really have creativity in the long tail queries that you want to target for. It's kind of like the new AdWords of times past. So then we re-engineer those queries, find the top sources, place those businesses into those sources, and then get them into ChatGPT that way. And now with, if you've been paying attention to ChatGPT Developer Day and like Stripe, well, now you have like pictures right in ChatGPT for the products, and you can like actually buy right from ChatGPT now with the commerce rails.
Very interactive, very it's almost like closer to ChatGPT being like the interface to interact with like all these like back-end e-commerce and like services outside of ChatGPT. And I don't know if you noticed this, but recently on X you can view live view of pages, like websites inside of X now. Like you're not leaving X anymore. Like X is now rendering pages inside of X. So everyone's trying to keep you on the platform, including ChatGPT. Right. So this makes sense, right? I didn't do anything. I didn't invest because I bought all these camera equipments that we're looking at right now.
Yes, $3,000 a pop.
That's why we had this amazing podcast. So,
it's okay. Yeah, it's amazing.
This is the least I can do. We're just putting you on to the pot. But okay, so what's the plan? Where do you think the industry is going in the next few years in the space that you're building right now?
I think we're going to see a tremendously forward in agentic commerce. So Stripe is kind of building in this motion with their agent commerce rail protocol, where you're going to be able to one-click checkout right out of ChatGPT, and that's just going to elevate the entire industry. So we're hoping to catch that wave, and we're just early.
Do you see a future where humans are not making these purchases anymore, but like agents are doing them like in the background?
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing like voice AI starting to experiment here, where voice AI tools and personal agents are booking appointments, making calls, negotiating deals, especially in spaces where it's okay to have some degree of human error or it's like very repetitive. Mm-hmm. I know like one use case it's very popular in is in the insurance use case, where you don't actually like talking to the insurance broker on the other side, and you don't actually care if they're also like talking to you directly or not, because it's a very like commoditized space and the value threshold is just so low. So you might as well have agents with maybe like a human in the loop reviewing to just like handle those like insurance forms and like those insurance payouts in medical billing and like things like that.
For sure, yeah. It sounds to me like all the industries that require you to do some sort of nagging with another party to get to the best solution for the two will benefit from this a lot. What about like behind the scenes, like running in the background kind of agents that are just making micro purchases, maybe for like a supplier or a supply chain of some kind? Like, because I know at one point I think Walmart or Amazon built like an agent to negotiate with suppliers, and then it turns out that the suppliers absolutely love negotiating with the AI more than like a real human. For whatever reason, maybe they're more straightforward with what they're happy with or something like that, and maybe like the interaction is more seamless. But I don't know if that's like the future that you see for.
No, absolutely. There's even Happy Robot. They're a YC company that recently raised a round recently for their success in the logistics field for exactly this motion, where in logistics and like freight forwarding, it's a lot of like back and forth between like the person who's like deploying the inventory, like the trucks, and then the freight carrier who has like the deals, and they're just like there's always this like back and forth motion of just like calls largely. So you can programmatically run that through agents, and it's often saves time because you don't have to hire a call center anymore. Probably more effective because there's less mistakes since it's programmed.
Yeah.
And there's always like a perfect paper trail.
Right.
When like human call center agents are writing in notes, it's not perfect at all. It's far from it, right? The notes are always like in shambles.
Yeah. Okay. Walk me through the journey of Thred.AI so far, because I know this is not the first idea that you worked on when we first met.
Yeah.
I think we used to do this meetup in Ottawa called AI Tinkers, and you were doing a couple of different demos, and every time I saw you, I get a different version of AI. So start from the beginning, like how you were at the Department of Defense.
Yeah,
you're working there, and how did you go from that to where you are today?
I worked in the government, and there was tremendous bureaucracy. Getting any kind of impact through for your labor is next to impossible, because anything that's relatively cutting edge, it gets placed in the backlog because no one wants to take a risk on their careers, right? To push an agenda forward. So it goes from one committee to another committee to a think tank.
Yeah.
Eventually,
committees and think tanks, that's where ideas go to die.
Yeah. And eventually someone just says, oh, maybe not this administration.
How do we delay it even further?
Yeah, literally. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, we have 2 more years of this one, so like maybe, I'm like, what?
Maybe the next one will be different.
Yeah, maybe the next one will be different. So I had to figure out a way out of there. Yeah, I was very depressed working in the government.
Yeah.
I did meet some incredible leaders, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure that shaped me in some way. But ultimately, you don't have full control over who like maybe your manager will be in your next contract, or in the like who, because great leaders, they get promoted, right? And then they get replaced, and then you don't know who's gonna replace them.
The key is to follow them.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. You know what? That's interesting because you see that even in startups. When like a startup like poaches like a great like manager, usually their subordinates also kind of come along.
That's almost happened to me at my first job, because my boss was extremely helpful, and he was like a mentor to me. He gave me a lot of space to like experiment and build cool stuff in this company that was in this insurance technology industry, but like not super like, did not have like a strong risk appetite for like building new things. And we were building on this like Salesforce platform. But when he left to join another startup, which is more exciting, he reached out to me. He's like, hey, like, wanna come work for me after like a few months, after like, like this clause on my contract that says like I can't poach anybody from here. You're gonna come work with me. But I already like interviewed it somewhere else, because like when he left, I was like, there's nothing that for me to. Nobody here that I want to work with, so I want to go somewhere else. But yeah, that happens a lot to a lot of people. And a lot of times people go to like really good companies because their boss was poached, and then they came along, and now they end up with a really good place. But yeah, so you were depressed. You were working at the government.
Yeah, I was working in the government, and I needed a way out.
Yeah.
So I started delving into startups.
Yeah. What was the first thing you did? Read some books.
Read some books.
YouTube.
Honestly, yeah. Like even while I was at work, I started kind of the journey.
That's fair.
Yeah, like because you have so much off time working in the government, there's like tons of wasted labor hours in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you get the week's work done in like a couple of days.
Yeah.
So you have like the rest of the time to like learn and like do your own thing.
That's why working in the government's so good.
Until it's not.
Just not fulfilling.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of crushes your creativity too.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so I think Think and Grow Rich was one of the first books I read.
Okay.
Then that started me off in that whole like self-development journey. I read like Lean Startup, 0 to 100 million, the Sales Acceleration Formula, How to Get to Yes, Influence, Persuasion, yeah, and like some of the Alex Hormozy books. Like
I like how it delves into like sales right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's like you know how to build software, and the books, they're not really that relevant to building software because of the way the industry just moves so fast.
Yeah.
So like the thing that is timeless is the psychology of people
Selling. Yeah.
selling.
Was this during the time that AI is already out or before that?
No, it was like just before AI came out. Like COVID is when I really like hunkered down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a viral app, just completely bootstrapped, print on demand app.
What was the app?
What was the app?
Yeah.
Just print on demand e-commerce store. So people can build their own like merch stores on demand and like design and then like have their own like website and like all the shopping experience built in.
So it's like a marketplace.
Yeah,
for,
it was a marketplace back then too.
Nice.
It's true.
Cool. So
I would go viral by like partnering with influencers and then making really cringy videos on YouTube and going super viral, like having millions of views, and those would organically give us 100,000 users and like hundreds of 5-star reviews.
Nice. Did you monetize that?
Yeah.
So what happened to the app?
Honestly, it was like operationally very heavy because it was just merch based. So I had to go to the print store, get the merch, package it, go to the shipping yards, and then ship it out.
Do you have a car?
I didn't. My co-founder.
Yeah.
So we would go together. Sometimes he would just do it by himself. Arda. He's still my co-founder, actually. We've known each other for 5 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys worked together on that project.
Yeah.
And then at what point did you decide to like, okay, let's just move on to something else?
You know, with AI, like we just both understood that it was a massive platform shift and things were changing significantly. It's almost like it was like almost as significant as the iPhone App Store moment. So we had to build in the space and quickly like level up and like really immerse ourselves in the community.
Makes sense. And did you guys like, and what was the first thing you guys built together? Other than the
like I said, like, you know, we've been tinkering for a long time. So yeah, we've built like a bunch of applications that we've like tested and gone in front of like customers and like delved on. But yeah, what we're building today is what matters. This is the thing that we're taking the biggest swing on.
Gotcha. So the reason why I know you was because Leo told me that you went to San Francisco for like a month, right?
Yeah.
And then you raised an angel round, and there were some names on there that I noticed. So I was like, who is this guy? He lives in Ottawa? That's cool. And then you came back, and then you went through a couple of more pivots, and now you're landed on this idea. And I think there's some exciting stuff going on right now with you in the company. If you want to touch on that, that would be great as well. But tell me about that period of time when you like went to SF and then spending time there. Was it for the first time, right?
First time.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't like my first time, to be honest. I went like once or twice before. I went once before for a conference, but just for like a weekend, just because I got invited out.
Yeah.
But this was like my first time spending like a prolonged period of time there. Yeah, it was very painful, to be honest with you.
Why was it painful?
Well, frankly, I was there for 6 months, not 1 month. And when you don't have a lot of money and you're in San Francisco, it's
tough.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
I shared a bed with my co-founder, and he's like a 200-pound hairy Iranian man.
Is it like a queen or a king size?
Brother. Let's just say there was some unintentional cuddling going on.
Bonding moment.
Oh yeah. Painful, but yeah, bonding moment. One can say that for sure. You know, yeah, like it also taught us that like we just need our space as well to be creative and to be the most productive we can.
Wait, is this for 6 months?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was rough. Like it was like terrible conditions. There was like roaches on the floor. To be fair, like we had like 6-day-old like leftovers sometimes in the corner.
Yeah. Too busy to.
Yeah, like there were empty packages, but it was like piled up of like those empty plastic packages. Like It was like our version of like the beer staff.
Did you guys have like an Airbnb or something?
Yeah, we stayed at the Hayes Valley Inn.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know where that is.
No.
It's just in Hayes Valley. It's just like cool like B&B like inn place. There's like a bar downstairs too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like loud at night?
Sometimes it would get loud at night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause it's a bar. They would do karaoke like outside on the street. Like, oh, hombre, let's go. One more track. Oh, my brother.
So you were there, and how did you spend your time?
Honestly, largely building, going to conferences, meeting other builders, expanding our network. I went in with like nearly no network. I left with a network and understanding like what it means to build like a business with a big outcome potential.
Mm-hmm.
Like just even understanding that concept coming from a
Canada.
mid-sized
Yeah.
city of Ottawa, Canada, like you don't really have that community.
Yeah, that is something that I've heard from a few founders as well, which is when they come out to San Francisco, the first thing they would hear from other founders or investors that you're thinking too small.
Yeah.
Was that something that you experienced yourself too, or?
It was more like you started to get a taste for what small even means
Mm-hmm.
and what large even means. I was always thinking big, but it wasn't always in the right, necessarily like directionally correct spaces.
Right.
Also, I didn't have the best way to even illustrate those bigger ideas and like how like startups even really work.
Yeah, walk me through that.
Yeah, sure. Like what I've come to understand from my years of experience, and you might think differently and correct me if you think I'm wrong, is that startups work by providing value to a bigger company ultimately.
Okay.
If you're a tiny startup, you get bigger by providing value to bigger companies.
Yeah.
In the simplest form, right? And like in one sentence, like that's really it. Things like partnering with other startups, they don't work or make sense. Things like getting advisors instead of actual investors, that doesn't work, doesn't make sense. All these things are also signals. Investors, they're looking for signals. Early buyers and supporters and like early employees, they're also looking for signals. As human beings, we scan all the time without even noticing it, right?
That's why you're wearing that sweatshirt.
So I'm wearing the sweatshirt. This is my favorite like wartime sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first time I heard of somebody giving that definition of what a startup should be. So what you said was the startup should be the kind of company that sells to larger companies.
Kind of company that sells.
Bring values to larger companies.
Brings values to bigger businesses, yeah.
That reminds me of just recently, LangChain became a unicorn.
Yeah.
And like in the early days, it was like they built like a open source project, right?
Yeah, framework.
And then people didn't notice what else they were doing. They only saw that there's like this other product called Langsmith, but then they built more open source stuff. And the reason why I kind of I had a different perspective on that was because I had a friend who built an open source project, and then he did consulting on top of that. And it turns out in 2025, AI products, like the pilots were whatever, but then like the service part of things actually took off like tremendously for a lot of different companies, especially in the enterprise space. So LangChain was doing a lot of that. That's why they built LangGraph, so that Workday and all these other companies built on top of LangGraph, and then they are the one who are experts in LangGraph. They come in, they optimize the shit out of it. Langsmith is there. It is a product, but it's just serve a very particular set of customers. But it's like everything else around like the stuff that they built already to serve larger companies that kind of like stood out. And I'm not involved in their round anyway, but like looking at that, it's just like probably play a huge part in like their round and stuff like that, because the product is just whatever. Yeah. Some people use the product, but it's the service component of that, serving like larger customer bases or larger enterprises. That was like probably like what drove most of the revenue, in even for like companies like McKinsey and like all these consulting companies, all service based, made even more money than OpenAI at one point, I think, all these companies. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be an enterprise customer necessarily. At least not in the beginning, you know?
Right.
It can just be businesses with more resources than you that are willing to depart with those resources.
Right.
In the simplest way possible, this is how I like state it to friends who are maybe like less technical. Solve rich people problems because they will pay you more. It's that simple.
It's more fun to deal with those customers than smaller customers that demand a lot and pay very little.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it becomes unsustainable and not scalable, and then you're stuck in those trenches.
I agree. Yeah. So, anything that's coming up for you, like for Thred.AI?
Yeah, really exciting time right now. Just pushing forward on our roadmap. Closing up our angel round right now. We have some interesting folks like on it right now. Like for example, we got like A16Z Scout Fund, which like it's the Scout Fund, but it's just cool like to have them on board. Like early supporters there. We have like Faris Masad. He's like a really like helpful like engineering support, and he's the co-founder of Replit, lead engineer there. He's also made like great like introductions. Co-creator of Google AdSense AdMob, complete expert in the space, been in it for I don't know like 15 years or something. So yeah, he also like helps us like think through problems, and early infrastructure engineers at like Netflix and Google as well. So they've even helped us like think through like our streaming API and like lowering ping time. So like all of our angels, for the large part, they're quite technical. So it helps us like kind of become more efficient with like even the way we think, and illustrate our roadmap and like product ideas. So we're just closing that up in the next week. And probably by the time this podcast is out.
So you said that most of your angels were very technical. Is that intentional on your side because you wanted to find, I guess, almost like advisors for your product, or is it that they are the one who understand the space that you're building in?
Yeah, honestly, it's like a bit of both. They instantly understand. I don't have to explain everything like a 5-year-old. And they've like already been paying attention to the space, in a way. So like they already watched like OpenAI Dev Day. They're like gonna do it with or without me. They already like paid attention to like Stripe's like commerce protocol rails. They're like scanning for like new tech and like how technology is like evolving. So they're just like they get it, they're switched on. But also of course, just like a strong corpus of like technical talent that I can like pull from.
Cool. And then this is like a stepping stone to something bigger, right? This angel round?
Yeah. We have some interesting milestones that we'll be hitting. Can't get too into it, but that should like clear the way for the next 3 to 4 months.
Sweet. Any tips for, I guess, like going back to what you said about like spending 6 months in San Francisco, like any tips for like building a network, like reaching out to people, kind of like how were you able to find all these people who eventually like invested in your angel round recently? Building audience, like frankly, like that's huge. Everyone can build product these days. They can't really build product too well yet. So you still have an edge in craftsmanship and like thinking creatively around your solutions, but building audience will like solve for any like connections that you want to get into. Learning the craft of like some copywriting, like how to formulate like a very succinct, compelling offer in like 1 to 2 sentences. How do we do that? Is it to read Alex Hormozi's $100 million offer?
I mean, like you can, like, but like, realistically, if you're a builder watching this podcast, you probably want real tangible tips.
Yes, please.
So I would say make it dummy proof, right? If you can explain your thing to your mother or to someone less technical and they just get it the first time, then you might be onto something, right? In like 1 to 2 sentences, make it dummy proof. Like they don't have to be absolutely like a Luddite, but but like as long as they understand some technology, like they should understand what you're building without like dedicating more than like 10 IQ points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's one way. Also, you have to earn people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people are way too entitled these days, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
You're not entitled to anyone's attention. You have to earn it. And you have to earn it with every sentence.
Nobody needs to watch this podcast.
You know, like, you should only watch this podcast if the next words I say are compelling enough for you. If they're not turning you on and, like, revving your engines, you should absolutely, like, F off and, like, do something better with your time.
Yeah. Change to, like, ASMR, something.
You know, whatever it is gets you going, you should be, like, paying attention to that. But back to my point, like, every line you write in an email, for an example, should have the intention of getting the reader to read the next line. You know, you earned the attention for the next line.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why sometimes when I work with teams, I have this urge to tell people that, hey, I can tell you wrote this with AI, and you need to rethink why we write things, because copywriting or content is how you, like you said, like, you have to, like, earn the person's attention. And if everything goes right and at the end they can take the action that you want them to take.
I'm raising mostly off the back of my memo. It's just 2 pages of words.
Mm-hmm.
It's because
I saw it. It's like there's no graphics on it. It's just text.
There's no graphics.
Yeah,
It's just text.
Straight text.
But it's clear. Right?
Yeah, I read all of it.
Yeah,
usually I'll just be like, I didn't read all that, but I read all of it.
Thank you. Appreciate
sense.
that.
It flows top to bottom. Good writing means that you have clear thinking. And I think that's one thing that I appreciate about you. And a lot of my friends do too, as well, which is that I can tell when somebody's thinking is clear, when their argument is, like, not going in circle. And, like, when you rehearsed this so many times and you've thought deeply about this space, that's why when you put down something, when you say it for the first time, when I hear it, I'm like, it just makes sense. Like, it's clear, it's concise, it's not like, there's no, like, fluffs in it. You're not trying to explain yourself too much, but you also hit all the right words. And maybe it's just because of my background is also somewhat technical. That's why I could get it. But I think clear writing, clear communication means clear thinking. Yeah.
I agree.
At least for me, yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Hai. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, that's the pod. This is the first pod that we're recording on this new setup. So, first guest.
Heck yeah. Look at the Goon Corner.
Now we're gonna eat some overnight oats that I've prepared.
Guys, check this out. I match with the Goon Corner.
This thing is tracking you.
No way. That's awesome.
That was great, man.
Yeah, we can keep that in the bloopers. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.